Could you already be a master at manifesting and you just didn't realize it? This video is going to talk about how art is manifesting and how you can use it to help find your purpose. I'm Michelle Baker, creatrix of Art as a Soul Language, where we use art to uncover messages from our soul that is guiding us towards purpose and fulfillment. First of all, let's just get this straight. What is manifesting? It's bringing something into fruition, right? So art is when you take an idea or a concept that's just in the airy thought form and you actually bring it all the way down into fruition. And this is true whether you're doing a painting or a poem or a movie. You have brought it down into tangible form so that other people can experience it and interact with it. That is manifesting. And so if you stop and really look at the process of making art, it will teach you all the steps to manifesting anything that you want in your life. The first thing that art teaches you, whether you realize it or not, is what intention do you have? Intention is a huge part of manifesting. So when you sit down to make a painting or a drawing, whether you think about it or not, you have an intention. If somebody's a hyper realist, they are sitting down with a photograph and the intention is to create that as exactly as possible. When I sit down to make art, my intention is to get connected with myself and see what wants to come through. Just notice how really different those are, but you might not have been setting your intention really consciously. So if you really stop and look, you can see that every time that you go to make art, you have some sort of intention, and becoming more and more intentional about your intention can help you become a better manifester for other things in your life. Another thing that art teaches you about manifesting is that it is a journey. There is a beginning and a middle and an end. And the end is when your finished product has come into realization. But everything before that was part of the journey. And something else that's true when you start to see manifesting as a journey is that you don't get to know the end result when you're in the middle or the beginning. But our mind often wants to know. So when people are making art, one of the things that gets them stuck is they're like, well, I don't quite know what it's going to look like or what it's going to be like. It's not fully fleshed out yet. But that's actually what the journey is for, is to help you flesh it out. And even when you go the wrong direction, let's say I painted the background pink and then I was like, oh, that's not quite it. That's actually important information that I needed. So by seeing, that's not what I'm going after, it helps me reorient to what it is that I do want. We use art to manifest in my women's program. And one thing that a lot of women have reflected back to me as one of the most pivotal things they learned is that you only ever have to know the next step. So our mind gets really hung up on wanting to know 15 steps down the line. What's it going to be like when it's all over? We do this in life too. Well, I want to know if it's going to work out. I want to know if I'm making the right decision. And the truth is that we can only ever know the next step. But what happens, and you'll see this in your art, is that when you finally take that next step, more becomes realized for you. What I mean by that is once I paint the background pink, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Then I know I want to paint it purple. Or once I change the background, suddenly the face now I can see needs to change as well. So everything is in relationship to everything else. And by changing one thing, you actually get more information about what wants to come through next. Knowing that art and manifesting are a journey, there's also some parts that you might not like about the journey, which is that they're being stuck and having challenges are actually completely part of the process. So you can also use art to help you see, well, what do I do when I get stuck in the middle of a manifesting journey? So when I'm in the middle of my art and I'm a little bit stuck, what do I do to help get myself through? Quick shout out too, I have a whole video with 7 of my expert tips for what to do when you feel stuck in the middle of a painting. So make sure to check that out if you don't have all of these tools and techniques in your tool belt already. But one of the things that I will do when I feel stuck in my art is I pause and I reflect. I come back to like, what was my intention? I usually journal about it. I have like a dialogue between me and my painting, and that often helps me get reconnected to what it is that I'm doing and what that next one step forward is. So in manifesting and in art, you really only ever have to find one step forward, and then you just need to actually take that step and more will reveal itself. And if you've ever finished a piece of art and you felt really proud of what you did, all the time and the energy that went into it, and also you can reflect on the fact that it was a journey and it actually taught you a lot about yourself and getting through those challenges, then you can also see how art and manifesting can be an important tool for finding your purpose in this life. Because purpose is also a journey. It's not just a single destination, and it's not just a word for what you do or who you are. Purpose is about being engaged with yourself and finding what's inside of you that wants to come out and be expressed. Sometimes that is through art, but it can also be in what you do with your work or how you show up in relationships. And that ongoing experience of tapping into yourself and going after what you desire and working through the challenges that inevitably come up along the way is you living your path to purpose. If you are a creative woman in midlife and you love the idea of using art to manifest what you desire and having it teach you about yourself and grow on your personal and spiritual development, then you should definitely check out my Wild Women Soul Purpose program. I'll throw a link to it below this video because it might be exactly what you've been looking for. And if you want to see how I use art and intention to manifest what I most desire in life, check out this other video where I show you what painting success looked like for me.